I'm going to hand over to my good friend and longtime friend and compatriot, Javier Castellanos, the Undersecretary General of the International Federation of Red Cross, for his keynote address. So over to you, Javier, and welcome.
Thank you very much, Ricardo, and dear colleagues, partners, friends. Thank you for the opportunity. Um, at the time when uncertainty seems to define our world, I believe in something profoundly helpful. Is humanity already holds us the intelligence it needs to build peace, prosperity, and harmony. We simply need to have the courage to unlock it. And I feel obliged because I think the context is telling us that to remind of this every day, and this is happening when Red Cross, Red Crescent, Magen David Adom volunteers and staff, ordinary people are doing extraordinary things right now, and who continue without pause to save lives and ease suffering in the midst of Middle East crisis. I think it's important to highlight that. Their compassion in the darkest moments sends a powerful message to us all. Even when crises wave across borders and deepen vulnerabilities, humanity does not stand still. Humanity steps forward. And that's why we gather here today, because we choose not to accept that disasters must become tragedies, because we believe that foresight is possible, because we know that the prevention and preparedness are powerful, and because we have seen that when communities have the right information that is timely, trusted, and transform this into action, resilience becomes real. Today, I want to speak about intelligence for resilience, thanks to this invitation, and about how the IFRC and its network and our partners are uniting with a people-centered humanitarian action with the transformative potential of data, analytics, and AI. About how together we are shifting from reacting to crises to anticipating them, from responding to suffering to helping prevent it, from uncertainty to empowerment. Because resilience is not just a strategy, it is a promise to protect lives, to strengthen communities, and to uphold onto hope, even when the world feels fragile. I will present 6 pillars: connections between AI and disaster risk reduction that I hope will contribute to this event and deepen our collective ambition. The first one is from warning to action. At a scale, when it leads to early action. This long-standing principle is now reinforced by the UN Early Warnings for All initiative, aiming for universal multi-hazard early warning coverage by 2027. The IFRC is proud to lead Pillar 4, which is preparedness to response, and ensure that alerts translate into concrete actions that protect lives and livelihoods. Through the anticipatory pillar of the DREF, the Disaster Response Emergency Fund, this vision becomes operational. National societies create early action protocols detailing who will act, how will, or with what resources, and funding is released automatically when forecast triggers are met. Forecast-based financing is scaled to speed and impact. On the ground, this saves lives. In Bangladesh, the Red Crescent Society provides cash and evacuation support before floods hit the Jumana Basin, pre-financing enabling immediate local action, providing how transformative preparedness can be. Along 14 coastal districts, cyclone early actions, warnings, transport, food, water, hygiene, first aid are ready within hours. There are not isolated examples. They reflect the IFRC commitment to scaling up anticipatory action, allocating quarter of the disaster response emergency fund to empowering national societies to reach to millions of people. Acting early is faster, is smart, and more humane. It protects dignity, it protects lives, and it shows what real resilience looks like. The second one is AI as an enabler, not a replacement of humanitarian judgment. Let me be clear. Artificial intelligence will never replace humanitarian principles, community leadership, or local mobilization. But in our hands, it can be a force of multiplier, returning complexity into clarity and speed into save lives. Across our network, AI and data are already strengthening our work. Smarter risk triggers, anticipatory action now uses hydrology, wind fields, and impact-based models, so funds are released precisely where and when they will have the greatest impact. Sharper real-time decision-making. The IFRC Go platform provides a shared, transparent picture of unfolding crisis grounded in field data, so the right support reaches the right place at the right time. A stronger data culture is the other element. With the data playbooks, over 120 exercises, teams are building the skills, ethics, and confidence needed to ensure responsible AI. And for disaster risk reduction, this means faster detection. AI can scan satellite and radar data to identify abnormal rainfalls, heat, or river conditions and convert them into impact-based alerts. Better targeting. Machine learning can help identify which communities need early cash or protection, always guided by human judgment and responsible data use. More trusted communication. Language models can localize warnings into familiar dialects and counter misinformation in real time, amplified through the volunteers that are doing community engagement and accountability and community trust. But let me repeat, innovation without trust is risk. Safeguards, responsible data, community engagement, and human oversight are not add-ons. They are foundation of every digital step we take. Now let me go to the next pillar, concrete results, anticipate, act, and protect. Let me ground these in real stories from across our network. In Mozambique, the Mozambique Red Cross Society activates its cyclone early protocols 3 days before landfall. With clear footprints, readiness, budgets, and triggers, teams move before winds intensify and storm surge threaten lives. In Pakistan, during 2025 monsoon season, the Pakistan Red Crescent Society linked early warning to evacuation, water, health, and shelter support across multiple provinces. Pakistan now has a river and floods early action protocols with the prepositioning and readiness funding, ensuring early actions start moment when forecast thresholds are met. Let me talk about urban heat as well. In Ahmedabad's heat action plan, updated annually since 2013, combines early warning, community outreach, health systems readiness, and cool roof initiatives. It has dramatically reduced heat-related deaths and now serves as a model for cities worldwide as temperature rise. Across all of these examples, one pattern shines through: risk intelligence plus pre-agreed plans plus pre-arranged finance and plus last mile volunteers. This is what intelligence for resilience looks like. This is how we move from react to crisis to staying one step ahead. And that is how we protect lives with dignity, foresight, and hope. Let me go to pillar number 4, building the capacities behind the capacities. Technology delivers only when institutions and local systems are ready. And readiness is never accidental. It comes from the deliberate investment in people, in systems, and trust. 3 investments are decisive in our case. What we call preparedness for effective response, that they strengthen national societies with clear roles, solid SOPs, logistics, surge capacity, etc. So when an early action trigger activities, teams can move immediately and with quality. The second one is people-centered early warning. Under the early warning for all, we lead, as I mentioned before, the preparedness to respond, ensuring that warnings reach last mile, trusted, actionable, and co-designed with at-risk communities. And early warning only matters if people understand it, trust it, and know how to act. Cash and market-based responses, when markets function, cash is fast, is dignified, is efficient, and increasingly digital. In 2024, the movement reached over 11 million people with cash assistance supported by growing guidance, preparedness, and learning through the cash hub of the Red Cross Red Crescent movement. These investments turn technology into impact. They turn forecasts into action. They turn warnings into protection, and they turn resilience from aspiration into reality for millions. Pillar 6, where AI adds distinctive value in DRR. Let me highlight 4 pragmatic AI uses case we can scale now across the entire disaster risk reduction community. Impact-based forecasting at neighborhood scale. By fusing hydromet and forecasts with exposure elevation and building data, AI can generate street-level impacts maps and simple action checklists for volunteers, updated automatically as a forecast shift. This is the analytical engine behind one of our early action protocols. Geospatial damage and access intelligence computer vision applied to satellite and drone imagery can map risk before landfall and damages just after, feeding directly into the IFRC Go dashboard so teams know where to go and how to get there when every minute matters. Needs and rumor listen. Natural language processing can analyze hotline calls, community feedback, and social posts in multiple languages to detect rumors, protection concerns, or unmet needs in near real time. So our message and services adapt as fast as the situation evolves. Market health and cash readiness. Machine learning can track market prices, trader capacity, and access constraints to help set transfer values and cash modalities, embedding do not digital harm and data protection into every steps. They are not future visions. They are practical tools that can scale together. Tools that turn intelligence into action, forecast into protection, and early warnings into life save. 6 and final, principles that keep us grounded. As we scale AI for disaster risk reduction, 3 guardrails ensure our work remain ethical, trusted, and truly humanitarian. Humanity and impartiality first. Data is never neutral unless the people most at risk are partners in design, not just entries in a data set. Our community engagement of accountability guidance make this real, ensuring communities shape the systems meant to protect them. Transparency and accountability. We must clearly explain every year action, what triggers, what we did, and what changed. In the early warning for all pillar framework, all IFRC anticipatory protocols reinforces this discipline because trust is earned through clarity. Data responsibility by design, especially in digital cash and predictive models. We safeguard privacy, minimize data, and ensure that no one is left out. Our goal is simple: digital systems that expand access, never restricted, systems that protect, never endanger. With these guardrails in place, AI becomes not just powerful, but principled, protective, and profoundly human. Dear colleagues, dear friends, the future of disaster risk reduction is not a choice between technology and humanity. It's the alignment of the two, so that the best of our science elevates the best of our values. When our forecast unlocks funding to evacuate the families before floods hit, that is intelligence for resilience. When an open platform helps responders converge on emerging needs in hours, that is intelligence for resilience. When a hit plan transforms a silent killer into a preventable risk, that is intelligence for resilience. So let's build on what works, anticipate earlier, act faster, and prepare better. The IFRC network stands ready to co-design, co-finance, and co-deliver with you, so that every warning becomes a safe family, and intact livelihoods, and a resilient communities. Because in the end, the most powerful intelligence we possess is and will always be our commitment to humanity. So I thank you very much to all of you for the opportunity. Thank you, Ricardo, and I pass the floor back to you.
Thank you, Javier, very much. Thank you for these very inspiring keynote remarks that you have just provided to us. I think that they perfectly frame the discussions that are going to continue with the next two panels. And the 6 pillars that you have presented, I think, are spot on. And the examples that you are providing for each one of them in terms of the AI use are also very representative of the things that I'm going to surely see discussed in a greater level of detail in the next panel. So, Javier, thank you very much for making the time to be with us. And I know that you are very busy dealing with lots of issues currently on the Mediterranean, not saying all the other disasters that are happening on top of the crisis and confrontations that we have around the globe. So we appreciate very much you giving us the time to make this keynote speech. Thank you very much. And I hope that you can at least listen some of it, and later, why not, listen to the recording that we will make available to everyone. So big hug from our side, and good luck with the rest of your day.
Thank you.